Yo, what is going on? Banette Bandit here, back with another video. Today we will be breaking down my team for PMPL Season 4 Darkrai Division. This season in PMPL, Darkrai Division will be for Capmon's national decks. Pretty much a quick breakdown of what Capmons are if you're unfamiliar with them is it's just custom mons made by Showdown developers that are meant to be competitively viable. Unlike mons that are made by the actual Pokemon developers like Sunflora and Wishy-Washy who aren't really viable, you have mons in this format that I don't think there's a single one that is unviable in this format. We grabbed a couple of them in this draft, and we'll have our team. This league will be 9 weeks long, and we'll be fighting for our spot, trying to become the champion of PMPL. So, without further ado, let's start breaking down our team. We were picked 8 in this draft, which was a very horrible spot to be in because there were 16 players total in this draft. So we are not at the very beginning getting a wheel up there or nowhere near it, and we're also not near the end getting a wheel back there. We're just flat dead center and having to deal with that. So with the first pick of the draft, I was wanting to target Socklet in this draft. If you don't know who Socklet is, it's a bug ice type that is incredibly strong in cap. But sadly, it did not fall to us. It got picked, I'm wanting to say, 2 picks before me. So whenever it was my turn to pick, I chose the mon that looked the most fun there, and that mon ended up being the Nomicon Epilogue. The Nomicon Epilogue is forced into the Vile Veil item. It also has the Tentacolin's ability. Vile Veil, pretty much for a quick breakdown what it is Soul Dew, so it gets a 1.2 boost to Poison and Flying top moves for the Nomicon. This thing is incredibly strong with the Tentacolin's abilities. There's nothing that's going to want to switch into it. It gets coverage like Brave Word, it gets Gunk Shot, Swords Dance. It doesn't get Swords Dance, it does get Foil though, allowing it to be on the more bulky side. It does get Roost as well if you want to go on more bulky option. This thing's biggest weakness in my opinion is definitely going to be its hazards because you can't run boots, which most flying tops are going to want to run boots, that way you ain't got to worry about Stealth Rock. This one cannot though, which might be a way for them to try and counter. It also gets such good moves. It gets rest, but not rest, roost. It gets hazards and stealth rocks and toxic sparks. It gets U-turn. It gets all sorts of moves. It gets knockoff support. It is an incredibly strong breaker. It can even be a setup sweeper or foil, and it looks extremely fun to try out. So that was our first pick. Moving on to the second round, I wanted to try and target what I figured was Phenomecon's main weakness, which was its hazard game. So I was looking at the hazard removal that was on the board, and I didn't really see any hazard removal that I liked in particular in the higher tiers. So I ended up grabbing Mega Diancie as my second overall pick. Mega Diancie is also locked into an item, but it has the Magic Bounce ability. Magic Bounce will prevent those hazards from going up on our side in the first place, so Phenomenon never has to worry about them. Mega Diancie is extremely strong with 160 in both offensive stats and 110 on its defenses and its speed. It is a bit lackluster in HP, but those defenses more than enough to make up for it. It gets amazing coverage on the special side, and Dazzling Gleam gets Moonblaster, I'm pretty sure. Mystical Power to hit, and Earth Power to hit those. Does it get Earth Power? Yeah, it does get Earth Power to hit those Steel Tops that want to switch into its Rocky Fairy stabs. It gets Screens, it gets Recover. No, it does not get Recover. Yeah, it can be incredibly good support mon. It gets Spikes and Stealth Rocks this gen. It also can do stored power sets if that's the route we want to go if they don't have a Dark Top. It gets Draining Kiss sets. It has so much versatility with this mon. It's an incredibly versatile mon. I feel like it paired amazingly with the Nomicon Epilogue, being able to bounce back those hazards, and that was my main focus in the second round. So let's go on to the third round. Moving on to the third round, I wanted to look to get more cap mons because what's the point in playing a cap league without using a bunch of cap mons? So I looked at the ones that looked the most fun there, and the one I ended up grabbing was Caldemore. Calmodor? I don't even know how to pronounce his name. This mon is a steel flying type with 2 amazing abilities, Intimidate and Bolt Absorb. This thing it has very good bulk with 130 defense, and it also has 118 speed, making it one of the fastest mons on our team, if not the fastest. Its offensive stats aren't the best, but if we go into its move pool, one of the main appealing factors to this mon is the fact that it gets Belly Drum along with the move Bullet Punch. This is going to be an amazing combo, just being able to put so many teams on the back burner. Say there's like a poison type that comes in, say it kills Diancie, and then I bring in Caldemore and they don't have a way of hitting me and I get a free belly drum off, it could be game right there. It also gets moves such as Drain Punch to heal it back up. It doesn't get Roost, but it does get knock off for coverage. It gets Iron Head if we want some. Actually, no, Bullet Punch. No, it's not Technician, so Iron Head can be stronger if we want to go for the faster approach. It gets Throat Chop. It doesn't get Momentum, which is one thing I would like for it to get, but beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, it gets Toxic to wear down some of the bulkier threats. So it can be our bulky Steel Top, or it can be a setup sweeper. Kind of similar to like Scizor is, but more offensive and less bulky, in my opinion. Really cool Capmon. Very excited to use it. Let's break down our fourth pick. Going into the fourth round, I wanted to focus on our ground weakness because, well, not really our ground weakness, more so our edge quake weakness, because with our first two mons being weak to the combination of Stone Edge and Earthquake, and then Caldemore also not resisting either of, well, resisting Stone Edge, I wanted to get a good bulky water to help deal with those offensive edge quakers, because most of them are mainly ground tops. And going into this round, I saw that one of my favorite mons still be in here in draft was there, so we ended up grabbing Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash is a draft league legend all the way from Gen 6 whenever I started paying attention to draft all the way until now. It is still an amazing mon. It has the Levitate ability, making it immune to Earthquake, giving us our third Earthquake ability on this team, helping out with DNC a lot. It also helps with those Steel Tops that the DNC does not want to handle. It gets not good coverage, but it has amazing utility with Will-O-Wisp. It gets Thunder Wave, gets Volt Switch to bring in our more offensive threats. It gets Defog, get rid of hazards for Venomicon. It gets Pain Split to heal up. It's just a very bulky water, and all teams want to have a bulky water. It also gives us a good flying resist to take some of that pressure off of Baltimore's and DNC, since neither one of them have reliable recovery. And now that we got 3 flying resists, they might not have reliable recovery, you know, but there's 3 of them, so they'll get the job done. But yeah, it can run trick sets to punish some of the bulkier mons with the Choice Scar. It can do so much, and that's one thing that I like about a bunch of the mons on our team is the versatility that they bring to the table. But yeah, that is our fourth pick. Let's go break down our 5th overall pick. Going into the 5th round, I can't remember exactly what I was looking for here. I know I was wanting to target that Navi-based speed tier because we had a decent-sized gap between Venomicon and Rotom Wash at the time. So I was looking at what could be there, and I saw another fun mon on the board there with Crocodile. Crocodile is an amazing mon with 3 amazing abilities, Intimidate and Moxie being the main points, but Anger Point having its uses in some matchups. It gets amazing coverage with Earthquake, it gets Knockoff, it gets Close Combat this gen, it gets Darkest Lariat if we're scared of setup sweepers, it gets Dragon Tail to force out setup sweepers as well, it gets Fire Fang to hit those flying Steel Tops. It gets Gunk Shot to hit those Fairy Tops. It gets, I don't think Pursuit's allowed, I might be wrong though. It gets Hazards as well to help us in our Hazard game. It can do so much. It gets Toxic and Natdex, being able to wear down those bulky waters that tend to want to switch into it. It gets Bulk Up for Bulk Up sets. It can do so much. I'm pretty sure it even got Scale Shot now. Yeah, it has Scale Shot now if we want to do like a Bulk Up Scale Shot set. If Dragon Stab goes crazy. Well, not really Stab, but Dragon moves in general, and that speed boost allowing us to be faster. It can run a plethora of items. It can utilize Choice Scarf well, Choice Band, Assault Vest, Leftovers, Extra Belt, Loft Orb. It can use so many items well. It is amazing. Intimidate and Moxie being very good abilities. Intimidate if you want to be a more bulky set. Moxie if you want to be like that Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Breaker set. It can do so much in this. I feel like on this team in general, and then just in general. Crocodile is an amazing mon. I'm excited to see how it does this season. Let's break down our 6th overall mon. Going into the 6th round, I wanted to get another Capmon. I wanted to have at least 3 on this draft to try and make it fun. And I was looking at some of the ones that are left. All the ones I was wanting to get tended to be gone because it's a Cap League. They're going to go fast. But one mon I saw that was still there is the NFE Capmon Scattervane. Scattervane is a NFE mon. It is a pure fairy top with Pixelate, Intimidate, and On Tempo as its abilities. Its stats don't look that appealing, but the fact that it can run a lot makes it very bulky, actually. Like, it takes some of the pressure off DNC as well, being a bulky fairy. We also made this one of our 2 Terra Captains in this league, and the coverage that it gets can be amazing because it gets bulk up. One of the main key points with it, and with its evolution Hemogoblin, I might be pronouncing these names wrong, but it's capital mons. I'm not used to them. It gets Pixelate, so it gets Stab on every normal move. It gets Body Slam, Double Edge, but the main one to look at is Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed being a base 80 priority move, getting the boost from Pixelate as well, and being able to set up your physical attack, this thing can break through teams easily. And I honestly like it more than Hemagoblin, because with EVOI and its Bolt, you tend to be pretty bulky and can set up the bulk up's a lot easier. You also get Wish as a healing option, and gets fire coverage to be able to hit steel types that want to switch into your Pixelate Extreme Speeds. It gets Moonlight if you don't want to run Wish for recovery. It gets Taunt to want to set down those bulky recover mons that want to sit in front of it. Then Headbutt to break through those poison types that want to switch into it. It covers its weaknesses so well, and I feel like it's going to be an amazing mon both offensively and defensively for us this season. And yeah, I'm excited to use it. Let's see what our 7th overall pick was. Going into the 7th round, I knew our hazard removal, like, we had Megan the Antsy for Magic Bounce and Rotom Wash for Defog, but I wanted to get a Rapid Spinner, that way I felt even safer around hazards for Phenomenon. And looking into it, I also wanted a Ground Resist, because we have a couple immunities, but if we go into a matchup where we're fighting, say, like a Zygarde, then we're not doing too well. So I was looking what fit all that criteria, because I also wanted some more momentum, because I love playing just Bolt turn heavy whenever I play, so the more momentum the better. And I found one mon that fit all those needs, and it ended up being Serena. Serena is one of my favorite grass tops in Draft League because of how much it can do. Its abilities aren't the best. You tend to always want to go with Wingling Majesty, in my opinion, to block those priority moves, but if you're fighting a Sun team, maybe Leaf Guard can have its uses, but I tend to stick to Wingling Majesty. It gets a plethora of coverage. It gets High Jump Kick, it gets Knockoff, U-Turn, you can run acrobatic sets with it, it gets Play Rough, it gets Triple Axe, so I don't know if it got it this gen or last gen. It has amazing Grass Stab with Power Whip, it gets Rapid Spin, it gets Synthesis for recovery, it gets so many moves for its kit, it is amazing. It gets dual screens as well if you want to use it as a screen setter to be able to help something like Narcotamore set up. And yeah, this one I feel like is going to be a very big enabler for our team and be able to get our threats like Mega Nancy, Caltamore, Venomicon in, even Scattervane. And I feel like it can even be a breaker like a Choice Band or a Choice Scarf in this league. Yeah, that is our 7th overall pick. Let's go into our 8th pick. Looking in the 8th round, I wanted to secure our final Terra Captain. We can have 3 Terra Captains, but the way my team ended out, I could only have 2 if I wanted to get Scattervane and this other Terra Captain. And that other Terra Captain is also a bridge speed between Caltamore and Venomicon. That mon ended up being Miss Magius. Miss Magius is an amazing Terra Captain. Being able to have the Levitate ability to always guarantee that one immunity, even if it does Terra, being a pure ghost type to block those rapid spins for the hazards that Scattervane can provide, because I forgot to mention Scattervane does get spots. The hazard that Crocodile sets up, and just having a spin blocker in general is always amazing. It gets amazing special coverage. It gets Mystical Fire. It gets Stab Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, it gets Draining, it gets Immediate Recovery, it gets Energy Ball, it gets Thunderbolt, I believe. Yep, it gets Thunderbolt, it gets Dark Pulse, just like most ghosts. It gets Nasty Pot if you want to set up Palmon, if you want to be able to multi setup set. It gets Will-O-Wisp, you can run Destiny Bond to try and catch something off guard. Heal Bell for a bit of more supportive set. It gets Perish Song along with Mean Look if you want to try and trap something in and kill it that way. Yeah, it has a plethora of things it can do. It also gets Psychic Noise this gen. If you're struggling with something like, say, an Among Us, you can run Psychic Noise to prevent that Regenerator from healing it up when he tries switching out. You keep it low. It gets Toxic Thunderwave and Will-O-Wisp to be able to provide any status that you want it to. And it also gets Burning Jealousy as a niche tech if you're running some kind of setup sweeper and you want to try and punish it for setting up. You can run Burning Jealousy. Might try that this season, never know. Yeah, that's Miss Magius. Let's go on to the next mon. Our second to last pick in this draft, I wanted to focus on getting another offensive piece while also getting us a fighting top to be able to break through those dark tops to help stuff like not break through those dark tops. I'm trying to remember what I picked this mon for. I know it also is. I'm just going to say the mon. It is Paldean Tauros Fire. It also completes the Fire, Water, Grass Core with Serena and Rotom Wash. It gives us Intimidate so we can Intim cycle with Crook and Tauros. It is a base 100 speed mon, so it gaps speed between Venomicon and Crocodile. even though it wasn't that big of a gap to begin with. This is also another bulky physical mon that can set up and run away with games, or you can be a more bulky set with Will-O-Wisp and punish those physical mons. It also gets very reliable Fire Stab with Raging Bull since it is the fire form, and a base 90 physical fire move is very hard to come by without it punishing you in some kind of way, because the best one normally is Flare Blitz, but you have to deal with the recoil then, and I can't think of any more off the top of my head that are just that reliable. This one gets bulk up, it gets Earthquake to deal with the poison tops and steel tops, even though you're probably just going to run Raging Bull for steel tops. You get Wild Charge and Trailblaze for the water tops. You get Will-O-Wisp to punish physical attackers. Body Press sets if you run a physical, Close Combat if you run just physically offensive. It can do a bunch of different things, which, as I said before, is the main focal point of this team, to be as versatile as possible. And yeah, that's our second to last mon. Let's break down our final mon on this team. Going into the last round, we didn't have many points left. I wanted to fill a couple more roles, though. Our Dark Top doesn't have reliable recovery, so I did want to get a Ghost immunity on this team. So our final mon ended up being Komala. Komala is one of my favorite bulky normal tops in draft just for its price point. It has the Comatose ability, which means it can never be status. It has a bunch of coverage, kind of like it's from Gen 1, even though it's not from Gen 1. It gets Knock Off, it gets U-Turn, it gets Body Slam for Stab. You get Earthquake to handle Steel Tops, Skunk Shot for Fairy Tops, Play Rough. You get Rapid Spin to remove hazards, Rock Slide Seed Bomb, Sucker Punch. It gets as much coverage as you ask for. You have Super Fang to punish those bulkier mons, Toxic to also punish those bulkier mons. You got Yawn to enable some of your setup sweepers like Caldamore, like Scattervane. It can bring in so much stuff. It can also even try and be a setup sweeper itself, like a Swords Dance Sucker Punch set to punish those mons that want to like try to use it. Say like a Steel Top comes in, you set up a Swords Dance, they don't want to take that +2 Earthquake. They don't know what they're going to do. Komala, I feel like for its price point has a decent amount of versatility to this team, but the main reason I got it is for that Ghost immunity. It could come to some games, it could come to no games, you never know. That is our draft for PMPL Season 4 Darkrai Division. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all in week 1 next week on Tuesday. Peace.